Okay, I think we're live. We are now live to everybody on Facebook, and we are live on at the moment 3 separate channels. We're live on the YouTube page, we are live on my personal page, and we are live on the Carl Thomas Project page. In order to get this everywhere, what we're going to need is you to just put a little like, a share, and a response in some way. It could be a like, it could be a heart emoji, it could be tagging somebody in it. Anything like that is going to help us out. So you'll remember a while ago we put a video out, and it was me speaking to Mike, Ollie and Amelia's dad, about the challenges that they're trying to overcome with his children, obviously suffering from Batten's disease, and some of the new challenges that he's trying to overcome and things like that, which are very rough, which are very, very, very rough. Now, the last challenge we did was back in September. Now, that was when we managed to set a new world record. We ran a marathon pulling a plane, raised about 25,000, which is good, but we need £250,000. We need the full £250,000 in order to get what we need to do. Okay, so the next event that we're going to have is challenge number 4. But challenge number 4 is a bit crazy. The previous 3 challenges have been me doing something, something that catches the eye. I did the marathons, then the cycle, then the plane marathon. But I think especially with the year of COVID and everything like that, this would be a fantastic time to show everybody coming together for one common goal. Now, the good news is, with everything the way it is, there's one thing that everybody can do. Everyone can do some running and some cycling, because let's be honest, during the lockdown, there is nothing else you can physically do. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. Okay, and I'm going to bring a couple of people on today. The first person again is I'm going to bring on Mike shortly, Ollie and Amelia's dad. He was with me again through the entire challenge, and there was one part in the plane marathon that I really started to struggle, and there was a real low point about 4 a.m. And I've told this story a few times, but I think it's so poignant, I've got to do it again. About 4 a.m., everything, I was kind of shutting off a little bit. I was struggling to string a sentence together, when exhaustion kicked in and everything like that. And then Mike then, whilst on live stream, told me about how Ollie was diagnosed and what happened early. And he must have talked about 15 minutes. And it's at that point when you think, stop being such a tart, Carl, pull the plane and keep it going. Because in reality, everything you're doing is very easy in comparison to what the kids and the family are going through. So that's obviously going to be a driving force moving forwards for all of us. So to keep you up to date, guys, because I know some of you might be new to the channel because it's boomed recently. Again, if you haven't already, please like and share this video. Again, it's on all 3, including YouTube. So I'm going to bring Mike on, and Mike's basically going to go over what the condition is and what we're trying to achieve by raising money. Okay, so I'm going to bring him on now. Boom. Right, test the audio. Have I got you?
Have you got me?
I've got you. There you go. Look at that. First time. We look like professionals.
First time. First time.
Right, so Mike, just want to introduce yourself and talk about essentially the importance of why we're doing it.
Yeah, so I'm Mike, Ollie and Amelia's dad. Both Ollie and Amelia have got CNL2 Batten's disease. And that is a neurodegenerative brain disorder. It's a genetic disease, so both Lucy and I carry a faulty gene that unfortunately has been passed on to 2 of our children, Ollie and Amelia. And basically what it is that the brain doesn't produce the enzyme that gets rid of the rubbish within the brain. So there's a buildup of rubbish, buildup of proteins, which kills off all the cells one by one. And by doing that, by killing the cells off, it takes the children's skills. So the children become, they can't walk, they become blind, tube fed, 24-hour care, and just the most horrific disease that you can think of, to be honest.
I think a lot of people struggle to actually comprehend exactly what it is. I mean, we've done things before where we've shown pictures and and things like that in order for people to get it. I mean, I've got one here of one of the things that they have to go through is I believe it's an infusion. Yeah. Is that what it's called? I mean, I think I've actually got this is I believe that's a picture of Ollie.
Yeah, so that's Ollie. That's Ollie having that's a brain infusion that they have. So basically what's happening there is Ollie's got a device, an access device within his brain that they had to have an operation for. Amelia's got the same, and they get an infusion into that every 2 weeks for 4 hours, and that is an enzyme going directly into the brain.
Right.
So that is what the brain isn't producing. They're getting it put back into the brain via medicine, really.
Wow.
That was a massive struggle getting that. When Ollie got diagnosed, he got diagnosed in 2015, February 2015. It's actually Friday the 13th he got diagnosed. We got told at the hospital that there was no treatment for your son. Basically,
Nothing
short,
NHS, did they then? There was nothing at all.
There was nothing, mate. In shorter words, he said basically, go home, enjoy your son, because he will die. And then in March, we got the same outcome for Amelia. We got asked to come into the hospital, and they said exactly the same. Your daughter's got CNL2 Batten's disease, and enjoy her. And what you've got to remember at the time is that Ollie had a few seizures, but he was still running around. He was still at school. He was still playing football. Everything. He was amazing. And Amelia was 2, so she was just starting to, copy her brothers, starting to go to nursery, stuff like that. So it was an absolute shock. But to be told that there was no treatment was devastating. Then we found out that there was a trial happening, but it was too late to get the children onto it. So me and Lucy, I've probably said this before, but me and Lucy, we've said it, our biggest regret is not fighting to get Ollie onto that trial. It obviously hindsight, but at that time we were very inexperienced. We didn't know much about the system or anything like that. So obviously now we'd fight to get him on it if we could off, and the chances are he'd still be walking. Whereas now Ollie is in a wheelchair, he's tube fed, he is blind, and he is dependent on us 24 hours a day, literally 24 hours a day. Amelia got the treatment earlier than Ollie in age.
Because you said it was a late diagnosis with Ollie, wasn't it? It was a very late diagnosis.
Yeah, in a way, when from speaking to other families and talking to other people now, we actually got quite a quick diagnosis. Our diagnosis took about 6 months, which is very quick in the Battens world. We've heard of other families a couple of years. It's
just horrific.
Well, it's classed as an ultra rare disease. This is. It's not a rare disease. It's an ultra rare disease. So
the importance of actually getting awareness for the disease in general, because more kids are going to get it. More people will be carrying that gene.
Oh yeah. The awareness of it is huge, because the earlier a child gets onto this treatment, which they can now get on the NHS. So if your child is diagnosed now, in 2, 3, 4 weeks' time, they could be getting the enzyme replacement therapy at the hospital, which we didn't have when Ollie was diagnosed. It was 2, 3 years down the line, and it was a big fight to get it. It was unbelievable stress on the family.
Well, you need to do. I mean, dead quick. This is always something you've got to talk about. Is your fortnightly drive?
Yeah, so we drive down to London every 2 weeks for the enzyme replacement therapy.
From point and Stockport is 4 hours.
Yeah, so we set off at about 3:30 in the morning. Get there 8ish, something like that, depending on the traffic. At the moment, it's not too bad. Depending on the traffic, then we're there all day. When we leave the hospital, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and get home, depending on how many stops. If we have to do 9:30.
And that's
something like that. That's every fortnight, but we are blessed that we've got it. We are so blessed. I'd drive to another country if I had to. So I can't complain on that side of it. We're just blessed that we've got the treatment. We're very lucky, really.
Well, perfect. Well, I mean, speaking of the treatment, then the importance of why we're raising money for the next thing and the figure of 250,000. Explain that bit, because that is the big news now, isn't it? We've got to get on why we've got to get this done.
Yeah. So the next big thing is it's another big battle that's being thrown our way. But again, we're blessed to have this battle because it's another possibility, something that can happen. It's give us hope. So CNL2 Batten's disease children go blind, as I've said. Unfortunately, Ollie is now blind. So we've been given this hope that the enzyme replacement therapy that they use that goes into the brain, it's an enzyme liquid. And what they're proposing is putting that enzyme directly into the eye, the leftover liquid. Just 2 minutes. Just 1 second, Carl.
No problem, no problem.
Danny. So they're going to put that enzyme replacement liquid into the eye, and the data that is being done on animals, it has saved the animal's eyesight. So what we need to do is, the NHS aren't going to fund this.
No.
Okay. They are funding the drug, but that is funded for the brain. What we need to fund is all the hospital costs.
Right.
Okay. So we need to raise the £250,000 for the children to get this. Now, the doctors are working on their side of it. They're working through it. Everything they need to do. We've just gone over a massive hurdle actually just recently that needed to be jumped. That it's gone through the ethics committee at Great Ormond Street now, and it's passed, which is amazing news. So that's another step closer now.
Fantastic.
So what we need to concentrate on is getting the money. That is all we can do. Once we've got that money, we can then go ahead, give it Great Ormond Street, and away we go.
Right. Well, let's make sure we raise it then. Let's make sure we raise it. So we've put a call out basically. So everybody watching now live, what we did is we've had to come out with a way where we want to try and get people raising money for as many places as possible. People were very generous when it was me doing the solo event, which was brilliant. And I think we got 1.3 million views from all of our media channels, which is fantastic because it gets awareness. You know, it got primetime ITV. And it was on front pages in Croatia, and it was on the radio in Dubai. So it got absolutely everywhere, but it didn't raise as much money as we needed at all, which is why we need to create this. You know, we just need more people getting involved. So if me pulling a plane raises a certain amount of money, if we get 20 people all doing something difficult, it's going to raise more. If we can get 500, it gets even better. So I'm going to bring on another guy in a minute. I'm just going to go over the things that we're kind of doing on the day. So anybody who doesn't know the date yet, we're doing it on the 17th of July, which is a Saturday. We will be able to get timings out properly, but I think around a 10 a.m. start is probably going to be good. We've got a couple of events. We've got a few really strong fellas who are going to try and attempt to set another world record by doing a tire flip, a big tractor tire flip, the entire length of the runway, and they've got to try and do it. They'll be starting earlier than that.
That's a big runway.
I remember. It was horrible. You can see the curvature of the earth.
And that halfway point.
Halfway point, I know, yeah. Can't wait to do that again. And then we've also got a full marathon, 26.2 mile marathon. Everybody has something to work towards at the moment. You can all go out and run, so everybody can wake up tomorrow fully enthusiastic because they know they want to do this challenge. And all you need to do is, on the day of the challenge, you just make a donation. It could be just to do the marathon. It could be a £5, it could be 500 quid. We prefer the latter, but either one of them will be amazing. Just to be able to run the marathon around the UK's largest airfield. This is where Top Gear do their like land speed records and things like that. Guy Martin uses it all the time. Now, the third one is we've actually got a kids runway run or a runway sprint. So we're going to have a kids race all the way down the runway, which is going to be epic as well. So we've got literally everything for the whole family. Now we're going to have, hopefully we'll have bouncy castles there. We'll have food vans there. We'll have entertainment. We've got a wicked DJ. We've got to bring him on at some point, actually. Got to get Mark on at some point. He's enthusiastic about everything. He'll be DJing to himself. Now, we're going to have all of that going. Now we're setting up a massive finishing line. Now the finishing point is obviously for everything, for all those three events. This side, sorry, there you go. Forgot I'm on half the camera. But also for some other weird people who I'm going to talk about shortly. So as well as the on the day thing, I've put a little call out, a little SOS, come and help us out. So I've invited people from all over the country to, instead of them coming to the event and running a marathon or something like that, to try and make it to the runway, finishing at the same place, but doing something a bit crazy. Okay. So what we'll do is each week we're going to bring a few different people on to talk about what it is that they're doing. So one of the guys that I messaged is a fellow kickboxing coach. We've known each other for ages now on the circuit, which is Kev Baldwin. And he's going to pretty much tell you the stupidness that he is going to be doing and also how completely unprepared he is for it, which is brilliant. Right, jump on. There you go. Can you hear me good? Let's check the voice.
Hello, mate. You right?
Oh, you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah.
Right, tell the world what you're ready to do.
Well, I'm not ready to do anything. Let's clarify. But obviously, I'm based in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and so we're gonna be cycling down to you guys and meeting you at the finish line.
Amazing.
Hopefully, I'll do it in one piece. So yeah.
Right. So, do you know the distance in that? I mean, miles wise, how far is it?
I thought it was 207 miles, and then I got the exact postcode from you, and it's 227 miles. So it's a fair whack.
It's just plus VAT. Don't worry, that's all it is. An extra.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if you were a keen cyclist, this would be a really hard challenge. So, what's cycling history?
I buy my bike on Wednesday.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm buying my bike on Wednesday. I mean, that's as prepared as you could possibly get. So it's not just you doing it by yourself, though, is it? More people come in, or your friends, or where are they from?
Yeah, so I've got we're still putting the team together. I've kind of kept it on the quiet right now because obviously we're at the very, very early inception stage. But we will be putting like a team together, both people who will be supporting the ride by vehicle. Unfortunately, that's not me. And then I've also got some of the dads are super keen cyclists who have already offered some great advice. So some of them have decided they're going to get involved in that, as well as a couple of friends as well. So once this video goes out like it is now, and I start talking about it, we'll have a decent team heading down. Restrictions permitting. So yeah, it'll be a good laugh, hopefully. Yeah.
Oh, no, it will be. I mean, Mike will tell you from when we did the last challenge, the Play Marathon one, the camaraderie you get is insane. But also you get a nice warm feeling, one from your legs burning, and you're doing something which is so good and beneficial for somebody. And I guarantee that when you get to the finish line, everybody is that buzzed up, everybody is that happy, and they're celebrating, and they're doing all these kind of things. It's wicked, really is wicked. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it now. I'm going to try and get more and more people on if possible to tell about what they're doing, because I've got people doing marathons, I've got people doing the 3 peaks and then making their way after doing the 3 peaks. I'm going to bring on a couple of the the strongmen nutters who are going to be doing their their craziness with the big tractor tire flip. And we'll take a massive one like that. And I tell you what, it's a long. It is actually. I joked before. You can actually see the curvature of the earth if you sit back. You just see all the way. Do you have this?
So hard.
What is?
Sorry.
How far is it?
What? Just one side of the runway?
Just what is the length? It's a long way, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is a long way, mate. Was it?
Because you can't see the end from one side.
No, you can't see. You can't see the other end.
It'd be dead good fun, isn't it?
It'd be horrific.
It'd be dead good fun. I mean, something else to mention as well, though, because so Kev will be doing his challenge. I'll be doing my challenge. We're gonna have other people doing all these kind of things. I'm hoping to get a media centre as well. Which I mean, I'm trying to get Jake O'Connor because he'd be perfect for it because he's brilliantly vocal and stuff like that. And if we have a media centre done, we can literally catch up with people. So he will have this kind of system set up, and then he can randomly get, when there's like a break and Kev's like dying over the bike holding onto the van, he can get a good video of that, we can get that going, and then we go to the countdown of when everybody's coming in, like, right, this guy's there, this guy's there. Kev's only 87 miles away. He'll be here in a minute, all that kind of stuff. And then eventually we'll have this last bit where you get onto the runway all the way down. It's going to be wicked.
It'd be brilliant.
I haven't factored in the runway, Carl. That's not in my miles, dude.
Do you know what?
I'm just like diverting to the end of the runway, like that there.
It's actually not in it either, is it? It's about. It must be a 2-3 mile runway.
I from my memory, I think it was it 2.2.
I think it's 2.2 miles in my head, but it's flat and it's long. And don't worry, from the side you're coming, it's downhill.
Yeah.
It is a slight bit. It is a slight bit. You won't put him on the middle bit, Joe. It's dead grippy, Mike. Where it's like,
oh yeah,
thick
yeah.
tarmac. We won't do that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. I've got that's my couple of people for tonight. I'm gonna. As soon as we get more people involved and stuff like that, we're going to keep bringing people on. So for anybody watching at the moment, you can see that there's a lot of people now getting involved from everywhere, okay? We're talking different sports and different areas. And we've got people coming now, essentially different countries getting involved. So anything anybody else can do, because this video will be seen everywhere now. I will share it, Mike will share it, Kev will share it. Everybody involved, they will all share it. And hopefully can really get it out there. That's what we're looking for. We can always on these videos answer the comments and things like that. So comments will come up. So I've just put here. So Dream Sounds Media Group. That's Mark, isn't it?
Mark. Yeah.
Right, we get him on next time as well. And he's going to say the epically good stuff that we're going to be doing as well.
Yeah.
All right. Right. So fantastic. Please share it as much as you can. Mike, are we going to carry on with the Just Giving page from the previous one and add up, or do you want to set up a new one? What would be easier? I believe that one's still on because someone donated to it this morning.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so someone must see that we're building it all up again. So if we can just open end that, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
We'll do that then, right? So everybody on live, we're going to call it that one for this evening, and we will get back in contact with everybody. If you have any messages, please send them over. It's to the Carl Thomas Project or Ollie's Army, and the Facebook is Ollie's Army Battling Against Battens. Right, thank you very much, people. We will see you again very soon. All of that stuff.
Take care.
Bye, guys.